Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for coming and joining us here today. For those of you who don't normally attend these things, events like this, I'm Scott Brown. I'm the Director of Hockey Communications for the Winnipeg Jets. Obviously, there is a reason you are all here today. We don't normally invite crowds to hockey press conferences, let alone the Premier of the province and the Mayor of the city, or even my family, who now officially know exactly what I do for a living. But this isn't just another, we're not just announcing another signing today. That's because this isn't just another hockey player. Today, the Winnipeg Jets are welcoming into our family one of the most decorated hockey players in the history of our province, Jonathan Toews.
Winnipeg would love to have him there, but is it a good landing spot for him?
Is there anything he puts his mind to that he can do?
You can't go wrong with having a guy like Jonathan Toews playing for the Winnipeg Jets.
Hard to explain and put into words how special it is to come back to Winnipeg, but I think it takes it to another level when you come home and see the support here in Winnipeg. So thank you again.
Taken by McCabe. McCabe takes up the puck. Score! Jonathan Toews, the overtime winner. Here's Toews in career game 999. Here he comes. Ho, ho, ho! A drag move, undressing the D, and how do you like the backhand? Shoots it. And now Canada can win it. Kid from St. Vital, and you've led the Hawks to a third Stanley Cup. Does it get any better?
No, it really doesn't.
So just briefly, for a lot of you, this may be your first press conference, so here's a little bit about what's going to happen. First of all, we're going to have remarks from our Executive Vice President and General Manager, Kevin Cheveldayoff. Then there will be a jersey presentation, at which time for members of the media and photographers, we'll have a quick photo op. And we'll have another one afterwards if you want, but you can take advantage of that during our press conference here today. Jonathan will say a few words, and then we'll wrap up with some questions from members of the media in the audience. And then after that, we'll break. There'll be some scrums, one-on-ones with everyone here on stage for you, for members of the media, and lunch will be served. So without further ado, please welcome the General Manager of the Winnipeg Jets, Kevin Cheveldayoff.
Thanks very much, Scott. It's truly an honor to be here today. It's a very, very special day for not only True North, the Winnipeg Jets, but the city of Winnipeg and the province of Manitoba. As Scott said, one of the most decorated hockey players in Manitoba history is coming home, and that's an exciting thing. I remember, probably about 14 years ago when I sat here, we were in the back rooms, talking, Mark Chipman and myself, about me coming on board, and it was, the press conference that day for me. And one of the questions he asked me at that time, he said, "You know what, Chevy?" He said, "Do you ever think that Jonathan Toews would wear a Jets jersey? Would you ever think he'd come home?" And at that point in time, it was merely a dream or a concept. But last week when we finalized everything, I sent Mark a text, and it says, "Toews is a Jet," and that was an emotional feeling, and I'm sure it was emotional for Mark. So again, very excited, and welcome.
We're good? Thanks, guys. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi, Mom. Well, first of all, I'd just like to thank Mark Chipman, the man at this table, Chevy, Arnie, the Winnipeg Jets organization for welcoming me to this organization, to this family. This thing is, can everyone hear me anyways? Yeah, I just want to say it's truly an honor. I think the closer I got to really following through and making a decision, the reality started setting in how special it was, and all the memories flooded back from my childhood of just why and when I fell in love with the game of hockey. And it really all started by being a young kid going to the Winnipeg Arena and watching games and just being in that atmosphere. And I mean, it's hard to imagine, much about what's going on down on the ice, but just something about the action, the energy, and the whiteouts, and just being a part of that. Just, I don't know, I just caught the bug and became passionate for the game, and it's just surreal to be sitting here right now putting this jersey on. It's kind of like, you have these moments throughout your career where some things you kind of, I don't want to say you get jaded, but you get used to it and you kind of settle in. This is another moment that kind of brings me back to, like, it's that new feeling like you're getting drafted again. You're a young kid, so there's definitely that excitement and that motivation to come in. And obviously I haven't played in a couple of years, so I'm just really feeling blessed to be able to have the chance to play the game of hockey again at this level, but let alone for the Winnipeg Jets, and to be part of this team and this organization that you hear nothing but good things, and how the organization treats the players and the families, but also just the chemistry and the family feeling that the guys have in the locker room. So I think that that's something I'm really looking forward to. And lastly, just, I've made Chicago my home for quite some time, and have had the chance to travel all over these last few years, and just to have different experiences away from the game of hockey. And I just think it means so much. I think as you grow as a person, you kind of take a little bit with you everywhere you go, but there's parts of you that'll never change, and I'll always be a Winnipegger through and through. And it's a dream come true to come back and play in front of my friends and family, and be a part of this city once again. So it's an honor, and one that has really lit that fire again, that excitement for the game. And so I'm really looking forward to it. And thank you all for coming here today. And it's a quick reminder. I was making a joke earlier that I knew there would be some excitement. I kind of expected that, but my phone started blowing up the way it did when we made the announcement. The reality set in. I'm like, okay, this is there's a lot of pressure playing in a Canadian market, and a lot of expectation, especially with the way the Jets have performed the last few years. So, I'm excited to be a part of all that. So thank you guys.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. If the members of the media who are here today have a couple of questions, if they want to go ahead, Kelly Moore. If you want to project your voice with your, I guess.
We can hear you.
Jonathan, I'm not yelling at you. This is
Okay.
live, so I want to make sure everybody can hear. Welcome home, of course, but over the span of the 2-year process, give or take a few months that it took to get here, what were the benchmarks where it really challenged your ability to be able to do it? And then was there that aha moment when you realized, yes, I can get that?
That's a great question. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I would say about as some of you may know now, I've been outspoken a little bit about some of the things I've done off the ice to try and heal and get healthy again. And I think it was about a year ago, probably last summer, where I started really getting in a routine. And I think there was a time where it was challenging because I didn't have that. And I think as hockey players would all probably admit, we've all had very structured, routine lives since we're young kids, and all of a sudden I didn't have that. So that was kind of a challenge in itself. But as I started kind of realizing, with or without hockey, I want to take care of my body. I want to do the right things. I want to, just let life go where it's supposed to go. I'd gotten to a point where I'd pretty much needed to let myself completely get off a timeline to return. So in my mind, I'd kind of accepted in a way that I might not play again. And I think that was a challenging thing to do, but at the same time, a very healthy thing to do, to just like wake up every day and not think of, this is where we're going. So, but I'd say probably as the year went along, I got stronger every month, and I was working out, taking care of myself, but also just enjoying life. And I'd say these last 5 or 6 months, things have really trended in a direction. Since I started skating back in February and March, those were the moments where I'm like, okay, still got the hands are still there, the feet will catch up, and things have slowly gotten better since then. So really happy about where I'm at, and just, there's a new energy, a new excitement. I think especially when I hit the ice again, it was easy to compare how I felt out there to how it was a couple of years ago when I was kind of struggling to get through the season. So that in itself was just a huge positive, and just kind of has really reinforced this positive cycle in a way too. So yeah, I'd say over the last year things have trended and gotten better every month. So
Go ahead, Cam McIntosh.
Yeah, Jonathan, just kind of further to that, you've been open about it, and it's been reported that you pursued some unconventional therapy treatment, or I guess what we define in the Western world as unconventional.
right.
Can you just explain the mindset that got you to that place to try that, even, I guess, have the courage to try that, or be open-minded?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I think when you try enough different things and then they don't work, it's pretty frustrating. And I got to the point where like there was just no rhyme or reason. So I'm like, whatever shows up, I was just like, all right, I'll give that a shot. And I'd actually been introduced to Ayurvedic medicine through a friend, I guess, who someone I started working with. And as soon as I started following that diet and some of the different like herbs and tinctures and just supplements that kind of complement the diet, things started changing really fast. And so I knew right away that there was something to it. And the guy that I was working with made the suggestion. He's like, I've had a couple clients who have gone over to India to this place that's very reputable. They know what they're doing, and they've been doing this for a long time. And when he first suggested it, I kind of like laughed him off. I was like, there's not a chance in hell that I need to do that. Part of my ego at the same time was like, that's just not necessary. Like I didn't want to entertain it at all. But anyways, that fall, I guess, or late summer, I had 2 commitments in Europe that I didn't really know what to do in between. I had about a month, so I was like, wasn't sure if I should come back to the U.S. or travel, this and that and the other thing. And I just decided, I'm like, why not give this a shot? So I ended up going out there, and I was really happy that I did. So it was just kind of by happenstance, and one of those things that I just went with and was open to and never really looked back. So
Go ahead, last one, Sean.
Kevin, when you detailed that text that you sent me, clearly some emotion was a lot of it. What's behind that?
Well, again, I think it's the passion and the commitment that I feel to this organization and this province, and you don't always get an opportunity to fulfill something that was always in the back of your mind too. And ever since Mark did ask that question, you always sit and wonder, well, what if? And again, I was fortunate to get to know John many years ago, and I was very fortunate to have a front row seat to see the impact that he had on that franchise. But his impact actually started in our organization, and I texted with Andrew Ladd after JT committed to us, and he congratulated me, and I said, a lot of what Andrew put as the foundation as the first captain of this franchise, he learned from playing alongside, John. And to be able to have, the real thing join our organization, that was a very, very special moment for me.
Okay, everybody, I know the media's got some more questions, so after that, we break into some scrums, which are going to be over by the backdrop. For the rest of you, thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed a little glimpse into a little bit of hockey life away from the game. There is lunch served, so once again, thank you very much for coming. Looking forward to seeing all of you throughout the summer, and again, as training camp gets started at Hockey for All in September. Again, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.